first, I'm going to remove this part of the caliper using these two bolts, and then this will slide off, and then I'll take off the rest of the caliper. Oh, I didn't do penetrating spray. Gotta do that. It's WD-40, by the way. Woo, got it. Let me just loosen this one too. Oh man, I can't get the tool on it. I'm gonna find a 14mm socket wrench. Here we go. Yeah. No wonder. That was a caliper pin. And it's like kind of, it's all dried up. It's not that badly rusted though, but it's definitely, the only lubrication's on the end and it's all black. So this needs to be cleaned for sure. It's probably what bound up the brakes and prevented the brake from clamping down on the rotor to begin with. This one's a little better. It's not bad. They're not like rusted like the other side was. Holy cow, that one's not going to turn. I need the cheater bar. It turned. Woohoo! Need a wire to hang the brakes from? I usually just like lay it on this pipe thing right here. I like just set them there. I know you're not supposed to hang it from this brake line, but or I can set it up on here. Sometimes I set it on that. This is called the wheel knuckle, I think. The middle bit, not the outer. Pry it off. It's rusted in. This part, right? Oh yeah, I remember now. Woohoo! Oh, no wonder! Look at that, guys. Talk about a worn out brake. That's metal. There is no pad. I mean, it almost went through all the metal. Holy crap. So, this just was a brake job long overdue. Oh my gosh. I think that's got to be like a record. Wow, look at how the inside of the caliper piston is like solid. It's supposed to be empty here. It's like full of crud. I know. Look at that. Ew. Now this brake pad is not coming out. What's up, GTA? Yeah, honestly, I didn't know, Seagreens, that I was putting anyone else at risk. I never even thought of it like that. All I knew is I need to get around to doing my brakes soon because they're squeaky. I didn't think of it as that squeakiness could translate into loss of control of my vehicle at some point. I never thought about that. My brakes always worked. They didn't work as perfect as they normally would, but they did work. Yeah, the rotor's really thin because it was metal on metal, and it was tearing up the rotor. In fact, I think the rotor, till the very end, was actually still working. Let's see if it's shiny. Yeah, so it was still biting down, I think, into the rotor. Otherwise, that would be all rust. So these brakes were working, although they were metal on metal rather than ceramic on metal. So they were working, still creating some friction, and the metal is slowly grinding the rotor to nothing. The rotor's like as thin as a paper plate right now. So these brakes were working. Just really unideally. There we go. Let's see, that was the top one. I'll do the bottom one. And you need the pipe again. No, I shouldn't have taken that bolt completely out. So I gotta get this back. Thanks for the follow, Crisco. Yeah! Got him! Interesting. These brake pads weren't worn all the way down. So they stopped working at that point of their wear cycle. Although, I mean, they wore quite a bit. I think they start out like that thick. So they got to about 3/4 before they stopped grabbing at all. And I think that was because the caliper pins were not lubricated with silicone when the brakes were last done. I had a non-mechanic do my brakes. It was actually a girl I hired as an employee for a while. I actually hired employees for a time, like 4 years ago, when I was making more money with Oi. Oh, you know what? That might have been it. The brakes were just jammed in place. They couldn't slide. The pin, you're supposed to lubricate the outside of these brake pins, like these edges, because the brakes are supposed to slide. If that got all rusted up, then that would cause it to not be able to grip as well. So that was all it was. These were just rusted into place. Pulling the caliper pin dust boots off, so I don't accidentally scratch them up. Not bad, guys. Not bad. I'm happy with that. I chose to do that standing up because I was getting stiff kind of sitting so low, squatted down like that. Okay, this is how I did this last time. I might need a 3-pound hammer though. Woo! Woohoo! Got him! Wow, look how much I thinned out my rotor. Metal on metal, baby. Look what fell off while I was hammering. This is part of the dust shield. Oh, it's the whole bottom half. That was here. Just fell off. Holy crap. Oh my gosh. No more dust shield for us, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. Alright, we Gucci. Okay. You don't want to leave this little noogie out. I did that on my other brake. I don't even know what this thing is, but you got to put it in the new rotor. It's like a little rubber cap that pops in, plugs up this access hole or whatever. Okay, so that's done. Wait a minute. Let me pull this off and thoroughly anti-seize. So we're going to need to pinch this shut. Let me get something for that. Losing daylight, that is true. But we got lights everywhere now. I prepared for this moment, guys. Alright, so this is how you do this. We want to put this cylinder back into the body of the caliper. So you put a brake pad over it, and then you use a C-clamp to squeeze it back in. No! My C-clamp wasn't big enough. The brake cylinder, not the thingy. Yes, it's big enough. Dang it. Okay, Chayat. No. I do know what I'm doing. So basically, the only issue I have is that the brake pads need to be able to slide back and forth in the caliper very easily. They go in like this, or like this, like that. And the problem is, because of all the rust on the caliper, they're like not wanting to slide very well. They're all jammed up. And that's even without this put in. This thing needs to be put in here. That even would add more space. So we got to grind out the insides of these these grooves have to be ground out. There's too much rust in them. So that's what we're going to do. I feel like this is going to create a lot of dust, which is going to get into my computers in my room, so I can already smell it. So I'm going to get a shop vac going.
Ah, they slide, guys. Yeah, actually. Couldn't do that before.
So as you can see here, the caliper was so badly rusted, but I removed all the rust using a sanding disc, and then these slides were able to fit back on, and then there was enough clearance after doing that to where I can actually get the brake pads to slide in now. And they slide fully back and forth. Before, I had to hammer them in, but that's not okay because you need to be able to have this freedom. The brakes need to be able to slide. Otherwise, after you deploy your brakes, when you release them, they'll stay deployed. And they'll just be scraping the rotor over and over until they're worn out, and they'll wear out in like 2 months. So I needed to really clean this caliper in order for the brakes to fit. And it was a big success. Guys, the key to my powers is my sandals and socks. So If you're looking to get into fixing your own car, you're not sure if you can do it, sandals and socks, and then you can do it. It has worked for me. Why you couldn't pull it off. Try to clean up some of this. This goes first. Now, oh, I gotta get the caliper. This. Now, let me put this one on, it'll be easier. Boom. Okay, so this is 14 millimeter. I'll need a 14 millimeter socket wrench, which I got here. Okay. Now, gotta find the one for this big bolt in the back. Right here. This bolt is next. Let's see. So I just did this one. Now I gotta do this one. You can see it's not in. Oh, it's bigger than 18. Or 19. 19's it. Okay. You see how this is all silvery? These bolts? Well,
What is it?
these are all silvery because I put anti-seize on them. It's a thing that prevents rust, and it makes it easy to take the nuts off later, the lug nuts off.
Oh, if you don't have a machine.
I put that on every bolt before I put it away because otherwise they can rust shut. It could be a big problem.
And then you have to like break it off and then.
Yeah, sometimes you have to. Yeah, you have to break things and drill out things, and it gets ugly. And it's a lot of work if you do that. Okay, so I cannot access the bottom one with my 19mm wrench, so I'm going to use a 19mm socket wrench. Because it's smaller, it can get in there. Nope, I don't see a 19, so that's kind of weird, but I'll switch to 1/2 inch then and use the smaller wrench. I mean, not 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch. Because every socket wrench is either 1/2 inch or 3/4. Switching to my whole other set, the mini set. Uh-oh, that's loosening it. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Okay. Everything's tight, everything's on. So now what? Oh my. Is that it? Oh, guys, I think we can put the wheel on. I'm blown away right now. That took me like 5 minutes. It's crazy how once you get all the problems out of the way, everything just flies. My problem was my caliper was swelled up with rust, and so the brake pads wouldn't slide into it. So I had to bring that in and spend a couple hours grinding away and cleaning it really well. And then once that's done, it's all a piece of cake after that. I pinched my finger.